before Hitler took over. His name is Michael, and he's still alive. There's a 6-year difference between everybody and everybody in our family. Richard was 6 years older than I was 6 years older than Walter, and Walter was 6 years older than Mike. Mike is the son of the oldest brother. Oh yes, I was beginning to tell you about Michael before. I don't know whether you were interested. He came over when he was 14 on the last ship, and an intelligent and attractive boy, but he made himself problems one after the other one. He, having gotten out at 14 while both parents were killed by the Nazis who stayed behind, must have done something to his psyche. You know, strange guilt feelings or whatever it is. Again, I'm not trying to play psychologist. It took him a long while to get straightened out. He was very, what should I say, we had good contact. He's 12 years younger than I. There was a long period when we were totally out of touch. It's completely lost touch, completely. He was in the Midwest. He always had strange jobs, selling, buying, you know, it's sort of loose ends. Not unsuccessful, apparently. He was still devoted to my mother. The last time I saw him, he showed up once and visited mother while she was still alive. So that goes back 30 years. Then Janet reminded me of the accident that you established contact again. I was visiting them in Urbana, Champaign-Urbana. They were both at university, and they had a station wagon, and I was sitting in back. And for whatever reason, we may have been standing at a stoplight or something. There was a local telephone book lying around. I'm used to reading books, and I was sitting in back, had nothing to do. So I picked up the phone book, and the first thing I saw by chance, I opened it up, was the name Loewenherz. So I was very curious, what Loewenherz got from Champaign-Urbana. So I called him up, and I got an answering machine. And I said, please call me back, you know, I may be an uncle of yours, I may not be, let me know. So that young boy showed up with a girlfriend, and they couldn't have been lovelier. They were the children of Mike, who had produced 4 children altogether, it turned out. A lovely person, and she was lovely too. So he said, you must meet my father, my cousin, the only cousin left, you know. And sure enough, we changed planes in Chicago, and Michael came to the airport and brought his new wife, and we had 20 minutes of a reunion and have been in touch ever since. Boujou Bernard, who was killed immediately in the First World War. The war started in July 14, and in September he was killed as a soldier. He hadn't volunteered, but anybody in Austria who had a university degree was automatically in the reserves. So he was called up, and he was apparently very, should I say, the artistically inclined person. He had a very good job in a bank. I never met him, of course. He met me. In fact, I still have a gold piece of 100 crowns, which must be worth a lot now. I gave it to my daughter, the old Austrian crowns, which he gave to my mother when I was born. I was born in July 14, just when the war started. My birthday is in all history books. It was the day of the ultimatum of Austria to Serbia, which started the war. And he said, give this to your son to remember his uncle by. So he, you know, he was not cheerful about going into the army, and he was promised